All right, Nintendo Dads fans, here we are. It's just me trying to run the show here and trying to do multiple things at once. The job that Jesse normally does, and I'm already screwing up. But anyways, welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 422, recorded on April 13th, 2023. On tonight's episode, with special guest Barry Carenza from Nintendo Fuzz and Nintendo Fuse and Premium Playcast Podcast, as well as Premium Edition games. We talk about Nintendo Live, Nintendo Hype, and Nintendo Ninjas. So with that, I'm already playing the music, but I don't care. Jesse is not here, so the music's already going. Here we go.
All right, guys, welcome to Nintendo Dads. Joining me on the show this week, you've already heard the wonderful phrasing and voice there of Tim Off, who's sitting in the director's chair tonight for Jesse Waldack, who is away on business in the mountains of Tennessee. He is literally 5 hours from me, and I can't hang out with him. But joining us also on the show tonight is Barry Carenza from Nintendo Fuse and one of the founding members of the Premium Games and a member also of Premium Playcast Podcast. And so, Barry, how are you, man? Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, good. Honored to be here. I was shocked when I came on to not see Jesse. I was like, wait, what?
Right?
He's always here. What?
Now, I was going to say this real quick. You know how we always talk about being a dumpster fire here, you know? Well, this is truly going to be one today because I am trying to run the show now.
I have full
faith. Like in the beginning, I don't know, like just a minute ago, did Tim want me to start the show? Did he want to, I was expecting that music and then the let's go, like we normally have, and then that music again. But that's okay. Yep. It's totally fine. Jesse is probably somewhere in a hotel room in East Tennessee pacing right now because he's like, oh my gosh, he's writing notes. They screwed this up. They did that.
Getting Employee of the Year. I tell you that right now.
You're not. And that's okay. You've still got the belts. So,
yes, I still have that. But it's supposed to go to Kansas City in May, it sounds like. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. So Justin's coming down this way. I got you.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, guys, it's been a week. We're now about a week removed from the Super Mario movie. We've also this week seen the final trailer for Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And man, what a trailer that was today. And so we're going to talk about all of that and a whole lot more, including our guest, Barry. Last night, Premium Edition Games just did their spring direct and had a huge amount of news there. And we're going to want you to talk all about that as well. So our folks can know all about those cool games that you've got coming on over there. So, Tim, you know what to do. Hit that news music. And of course, our news each and every week is brought to us by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you get to join up with the greatest community on the internet and be a part of all kinds of shenanigans and fun conversations and things over there. $5 gets you the full slate of Discord subchannels. $10 gets you pre and post show audio and an art card every quarter. And $30, well, you get to be a Patreon producer. You get to be on the show. You get to influence the way the show runs. And if we ever fire Jesse and Tim, you'll be next up for a host spot. So that was good timing. I like that. Perfect. Good job. You saved your job tonight because of that. Yeah, look at him.
He's a pro.
I'm proud of him. He's come a long way. But anyway, patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Head over there right now if you haven't signed up. You can even sign up for a year of content over there. You can pay yearly. And if you do that, you get a month free. All right. That's just our gift to you. And so we would love for you to join up over there with all, over I think 90 people over there now above that. And so we would love to have you jump on board. And it helps us do things. Your support helps us reach goals like going to New York last year or doing some other cool things, Tim, right, that we've got going on back in the scenes. We've been marinating, serenading, percolating in the lab, back there. Sure. Yeah. And so we won't tell you what that is, but you just say we've got some, I think, some really cool things coming down the pike. And one of those is our first headline for tonight. We're talking about maybe going to this new live event that Nintendo announced this week via Twitter, and there's other social media, called Nintendo Live 2023. This is slotted for a September date that has not been revealed yet in Seattle. It promises game demos, photo ops, tournaments, and live stage performances, with more information to be announced later. In fact, there's a website up about it right now, nintendo.com/Nintendo-Live. Barry, you're our guest. We always invite our guests to speak to things first. I just want to get your take on this. What's going on? Like the first thing I thought when this came out was, man, Nintendo doesn't do a lot of stuff like this. Like they do the tours, right? Like they go to malls and festivals and things, but like they've never invited people to come to like a live Nintendo event at their like doorstep. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a very Nintendo move because you really can't predict what Nintendo's going to do. We do know they're skipping E3. Obviously, E3 is canceled because they're skipping. I don't expect a June Direct. I hope I'm wrong. And if that's the case, if we don't get a summer direct, the next direct we would get usually is in September in the fall when Nintendo Live just happens to be happening. So I don't know if they're going to do a special Nintendo Direct Live because, Nintendo New York does the direct viewings and, everyone gets to watch there. I don't know if they're going to do something like that. My initial thought was like this. I hope this kind of turns into Space World again because I miss Space World. I thought it was so cool that Nintendo used to do their own show. Let's bring it back. Like Sony started doing their own show for a little bit in the PlayStation experience, and they killed that off too. So I was like, I really want to know what Nintendo was.
Well, the last few years killed a lot of things.
Yes, that's true. But this is Nintendo doing what the other companies aren't doing. So this could be as simple as come here, play Tears of the Kingdom, even though you've already beaten it, but we'll just play it again. Or, with a live performance by a random pop artist that has nothing to do with Nintendo. Or Koji Kondo could be there, conducting an orchestra, and Miyamoto could be there, and who knows what else. So I guess the sky's the limit. So I have high hopes, but again, this is Nintendo, so I'm tempering them.
As a host emeritus of Nintendo used to say, of Nintendo Dads used to say, Zach Erickson, he would say, high hopes, low expectations.
Exactly.
And those are harder to manage than you would think, right?
You know what? I think as we find out more information leading up to the events, that's when I'm going to really start thinking about it. So if they announce, let's say after Tears of the Kingdom, so let's put it in June, they say, here's more information. It's just going to be some kiosks like the mall tours that they do, just as a bigger event with some live music and no new announcements. I'm going to be like, I don't care. But if they say, guess what, we're going to do a special, our fall direct is going to be live. We're going to do that. We're going to do the treehouse. We're going to do all that. Then my expectations are going to go up, especially if we don't have a summer direct. Because what else does Nintendo have outside of after Tears of the Kingdom but Pikmin 4, and that's it. So is that really it for the entire second? They got some DLC. They own Xenoblade 3 as DLC and Mario Kart 8 as DLC and Splatoon 3. But they can't live off DLC. They, what is going to be our fall and holiday season stuff? Maybe a Switch 2, anything could happen. So my expectations they're staying neutral right now until we get more information. They don't want to high.
They can live off DLC. Remember the Wii U? They can.
No, I wouldn't call that living. I would call that limping over the finish line. Well,
that's true. That's true. Tim, throwing to you, what are your thoughts about the Nintendo Live? What do you think?
I am excited for it for the fact that we, all through my life, I've always wanted to go to an E3. So, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get that chance ever, unless it comes back a few years down the line. So the next best thing was usually either going to be a PAX event or something to those lines. But a Nintendo event, back to like what they had before, like Barry was describing, is the next best thing, if not the thing. So if I can get to that, if this is successful, if that's something I can get to or we can get to this year, awesome. That would be, check that off my bucket list. If it's not this year, maybe if this is successful and they do it again in the next years ahead, that'd be great. But it's hard to plan with Nintendo. So
yeah.
But I'm excited for it, and
so
I'm trying to remain neutral as well. But it's kind of hard sometimes.
It is. It's really hard to remain neutral. And that's why I'm not going to remain neutral about this at all. I think that the highly unusual nature of this announcement, including the fact that E3 has crumbled and fallen into the sea, and there will be no E3 this year, and the fact that they're going to have a live audience of Nintendo fans wrapped around their finger. This is the Switch 2 announcement. I really believe this is where we see it. I predicted early this year that we would hear an announcement this year, but we would not see a product. Like it would be hey guys, this is coming, but it's going to be here in 2024. I really think that this is where that announcement happens. I think that's why the back half of the year calendar hasn't been revealed yet, because all of this, we believe the Switch still has legs. Doug Bowser saying all that is a smokescreen for what is coming.
They say that at the end of the life of every system.
Exactly.
And there's always going to be overlap anyway. So
you're going to have a Switch, and then you're going to have a Super Switch or a Switch 2 that's going to be there. It's going to be like we have coexisted between the regular Switch and the OLED for a while. I would really like to believe, and I don't have anything to substantiate this at all, but I would really like to believe that what they're going to do within the next 6 months is wrap production on regular Switches, move everything over to OLED, and put everything toward a new console.
I don't see them doing that. I see if there is a Switch 2, I see them wrapping the original Switch as well, but of course. But I also see them wrapping the OLED, and I see them just leaving the Switch Lite and leaving that as a portable only line, like a younger generation line, and all the hardcore moving them at that point to the Switch 2.
Like a 2DS.
Like the 2DS kind of deal. It's just the Switch.
The doorstop 2DS.
Exactly. The fat, not the comfortable new 2DS XL. But one thing I think Tim, you said it about like carry on, like overlap, and with systems like Sony and Xbox, you're absolutely right. But if you think of Nintendo, you can't think overlap. They did it with the NES after the Super Nintendo launch. Sure, it was their first real system out there, but the Super Nintendo died as the N64 came out. The N64 died before the GameCube came out. The GameCube died with Twilight Princess, which happened a month after the Wii came out. The Wii, while yes, had Just Dance, it really died when the Wii U came out. The Wii U died before the Switch came out. There hasn't been that overlap with Nintendo home consoles, and even with portable, there when the 3DS came out, there was just a little bit of third-party overlap, but nothing from Nintendo for DS, with the exception of Pokemon, Ultra Sun and Moon, and Conquest, and I think that's just because those ones were already in development. So I don't see much of an overlap unless they keep the Switch line going, like the Switch.
Yeah,
line.
and like I could be totally wrong on this. I don't want to be. That would be to me that would be disappointing. But like I just feel like something like this, for a company that has never really gone in on hey, we're going to host a live event, or well, you mentioned Space World. They have not hosted a live event like this in many, many, many years, right? For them to do that at 7 years into a console, like what are we doing here? Like why gather all these people and like have this big event where you're going to celebrate Nintendo and say, hey guys, here's a handful of kiosks, go play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or go play Hyrule Warriors. You're not going to do that. There's either going to be a new system announced here to bring a ton of hype to, and it's a reward to that live crowd who've traveled or whatever to show up, or they're going to like do what you said, Barry, do a live direct and like just have this massive back catalog for the last the last half of the year into early 2024.
So how stoked would you be if Doug Bowser took the stage? Because there's a stage, they've already stated it. He
Yep.
comes out and out of his jacket pocket, he pulls the Switch 2, and then 100 girls come with Switch 2s, handcuffed to them down the aisles and hand like who wants to play, kind of like they did with the 3DS.
I love it
I was
because
there. That would be spectacular.
Because here's the deal, like we a lot of times we compare Apple, people compare Apple and Nintendo, right? Like because of the innovative, because of the constant forward push, all ease of use, things like that. Most times when there is an Apple event, there is, hey, here's the product, right? Like here it is. When Nintendo did the Switch like full reveal, not the Mario's peeking through the shower curtain, like thing, like when they did the full reveal and Koizumi did magic and all that, there was product on stage. Like it was like, here it is. This is what it looks like. This is what it's going to do. I don't know if we're going to get that. I just think that why do this big production if there's not something there?
Let me point this out that Mikey Dreamer put out in here. It says Nintendo Live 2018, 19, 22 in Japan did not have any reveals or announcements.
Well, all right. That's Japan. Here in America, when we throw a live event, we expect a reveal. We expect something.
So basically what we're going on is basically, okay, Nintendo is like, okay, we're not going to participate in E3. So because of that, we're speculating that there's no E3. Their big thing for May is going to be the Zelda game. And then there's going to be quiet through the summer so everybody can play that. And then September hits and we're going to get a direct either before they hit the live show or during the live show.
I predict that during the summer we're going to have Zelda. We're going to have some Mario Kart DLC that's to tide people over. There's an indie darling that they highlight. Pikmin comes out in July. But who cares about Pikmin? But anyway, for that. There will probably be a mini direct. Mario movie is going to come to DVD and home, so you're going to have some news with that. There's going to be
indie showcase.
Yeah, there'll be an indie showcase. But like as far as big games, the only other thing that I could see them doing is with this is if they didn't do a Switch 2 reveal or they didn't do a new system reveal, that this would be a perfect place to show a brand new Mario game.
Yeah.
You're live, you've got Mario, you've got the Mario movie. Maybe they even show the Mario movie live there at the and have Koji Kondo or have Brian Tyler there, did the music, have Chris Meledandri there to talk about it, maybe even Miyamoto pops in for a little bit, and then it's, hey, by the way, we want to show you what we've been working on,
or that rumored 2D DK game.
Right.
Dragon, don't loop us in there with Marty. We're not all overthinking this event. Marty's the one going crazy.
Okay, it's fine. Look. All I'm going to say is, when I'm right, I just want my flowers. All right, just give me my flowers when I'm right. That's
absolutely get your flowers.
Why can we not? There's been so much negativity. I said something about this and on the Nintendo voice chat forums, and I had several people that were like, "Nope, not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. We're not getting this. We're not getting that. It's just going to be
why, Marty.
It's going to be more demos.
They're trying to bring themselves down, so they're like they don't want to look at the.
I just like to. I like to live fun. I like to be exciting. I don't know. Anyway.
You know what? I was exactly like that until I started studying the industry more. And after all this time and analyzing Nintendo and realizing you're expecting to zig and they're going to zag pretty much every time. You can't predict them. You could hope, but it's better just not to get your hopes up, because
I was like that too until I took an arrow to the knee.
Exactly. That realism of Nintendo, that arrow to the knee.
So I took a Donkey Kong to the knee. Well,
barrel.
Well, let's talk about something that actually is exciting because, like, we've beaten the information that we have on this to death, and then because there's not much, but
we're
stay
excited.
tuned.
We're excited for that.
Stay tuned.
We're
Yeah,
hoping that it's going to be bigger than what was in Japan.
some of us are more excited than others, right?
We're tempered expectations.
No, we're not. You are. I'm not. They're going to announce the new Mario movie, Mario 2.
Marty, when that happens, man, we got to have a big talk and celebrate because I will be so happy.
And if it doesn't happen, we'll just forget that this podcast episode ever existed.
Oh, no, we'll still have a conversation. We'll drink our tears away.
Sure. That's fine. That's fine. Let's talk Tears of the Kingdom. Let's talk this final trailer that came out today that wow. Okay. Like that's all I really can say. I was even kind of a little pessimistic this week leading up to it. And I kind of tweeted about, what if they've already, it's not much more than what they've shown. And that's why they've held back. Today, they did not hold back. All right. If you've not watched this, I encourage you, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, pause and open up a new browser or whatever, or go to your computer, leave us on pause, go watch the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. It's 3 minutes. It'll change your life. All right. Because holy cow, I had seen somebody saying leading up to this, that if you remember the final trailer for Breath of the Wild that got shown off, like right before it released, was the one that everybody just went greatest video game trailer of all time, right? Just absolutely bonkers. And they were saying, well, why? Like, there just hasn't been anything like that for Tears of the Kingdom yet. My friend, today was that. Okay, Barry, I want to go to you. What did you think about this Tears of the Kingdom trailer? Like, you're grinning as I'm saying this, so I could kind of already maybe feel a little bit of where you're going with this, but like, lay it on us. What did you think about this magical 3 minutes?
I smiled the whole time, and I did tear up, and especially as the music riffs, I was just like, oh my God. And constant speculation. Like, I'm trying to analyze instantly, like, every scene. What's going on here? What's going on here? Where is this place? Because trailers always pull from different points in the game. So am I watching something from the beginning towards the end? Am I seeing things out of order? Trying to piece it together. And then Ganondorf just shows up, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going here. And yeah, the dungeons, showing dungeons, like.
Do you think it was dungeons? Do you think that's what we're seeing in there?
I think we're gonna see some traditional dungeons.
I do too.
I think people heard, or they heard what we said about that. We love the shrines, but we wanted traditional dungeons. The great beasts were great, but we wanted more traditional dungeons, and I think we're getting that. It looks like just everything I'd hoped for. I want to see more, but at this point, even if they're like, we're going to show another trailer tomorrow, I'm not watching it. Like, nope, that's it. It's a month away. I'm going to look away. No spoilers. I want to go into this.
Yeah, I was going to say that some news leaked earlier that an unfinished version of the TV commercial was posted on YouTube earlier today, like, this game has had so many leaks. Like, the art book is leaked, the OLED leaked, this is now leaked. And I don't want to watch it. Like, I almost clicked the link. I was like, it said, like, there's some stuff that we haven't even seen yet that's in this commercial. And I was like, I want to know, but I don't, because I want that, like, going in fresh experience. Right. Like, and I would say that, like, when I see a game that I really, really want to play like this, like Mario Odyssey, when it came out, like, that I'm really, really, really excited about, I black out as much media as possible. Like, I don't want to know about any abilities. I don't want to know about any powers. Like, I did watch the 10-minute, Tears of the Kingdom direct, and I was whelmed. I don't think it was the best showcase of what that game was. Today, though, 10 out of 10. No, I'm going to give it a Justin Masson 11 out of 10 today. Tim, what about you? What did you think about this trailer for Tears of the Kingdom?
I was already excited for it. I already, like, pre-ordered it. I think maybe even before the first trailer, or as soon as we were able to pre-order it, I pre-ordered it. So That wasn't an issue, but I was ready to go in blind, but I'm not, and just super excited about what I saw in that 3 minutes for sure. Like, I was also trying to analyze it, but I don't remember a whole lot of details. I couldn't connect a lot of things. That's not how my brain works. But I certainly felt like goosebumps and all that kind of stuff just watching it, just movie-esque type things going on there. And then again, like what Barry was saying, kind of going through like, what's this mean? What's that mean? What am I seeing? And oh my gosh, Ganondorf, he looks awesome, and all that kind of stuff, So, and then trying to track it back to just thinking, not even from what I'm seeing, but what I potentially will see playing this game. Like, does it have to do with any kind of time travel? Does it have to do with any kind of connection to other stories that we've already played in the Hyrule history? So there's so many things going on here. Is like, how much did they put into this to try to connect things or take it down its own path, or what? And that's what's going to be an interesting part for me.
You know what I want to see? I want to see somewhere, because you mentioned time travel. They do some kind of weird time travel, and because multiverse is so big right now, they go someplace where Link needs help, and like all these portals just appear, and like the hero of time walks out, and the hero of wind walks out, the hero of twilight walks out, like all of them just start coming out. I'm like, oh my god, like every Link that has ever been there. Like, let's all team up and be like, oh my god.
That's you got to go find each link from each part of history to come together so you can beat Ganondorf. Yes.
There you
go. so many things in this trailer. We couldn't cover them all. But again, if you've not seen this, then I'm gonna kind of start sharing some stuff that might, if you don't want to know anything about this game, like if you're media blackout, then skip maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes into the future on the show.
Keep checking in for the next few minutes,
Yeah,
because who knows how long this is going to be going.
That's true.
Already revealed some
that's true. You know us. So just some things that I wanted to point out from the trailer that we got to see. Tons of sky islands, right? Like, I mean, it's not just going to be limited to little piddly things here and there. There's tons of this landscape that have now either been launched into the sky or have appeared and are now part of Hyrule as well. Enemies were fighting each other at one point in that trailer. I don't know if you guys noticed that. There was like a choo-choo fighting one of those new like construct enemies, like the robots. There did appear to be shrines in the video. If you go back and look, there's some of that like blue-green energy glowing around certain points as Link drops down to the surface below. Some people have pointed out that there could be traces of the old towers, like where the scan towers where you found parts of the map. One thing that I noticed, and I wanted to point this out and get you guys' reaction on it, was one of the criticisms of Breath of the Wild early on was, man, this game is gorgeous. It looks beautiful, plays great, but it's so empty. You remember that? Like, people was like, there's nothing here. Nintendo listened to that, because like several times in this trailer, we see Hot No Village is thriving, right? We see camps. We see people teaming up with Link to fight. We see the champions, and all of this going on. There are people. There's evidence of population throughout Hyrule in this one. I thought that was really cool. Some other people pointed out that maybe Demise shows up in this trailer at some point, because there's this like flash of red and like it's almost like the blood moon thing, but there's somebody talking during that, and there's like a figure that you can't really see because everything's red that they thought could be Demise. Barry, to your point, there's a shot that I noticed in the original trailer, but it's on this list. There's this huge underground cavern that Link is running through, and like lava's running down the walls and stuff. I think that could be a dungeon, right? I mean, it certainly looked like one. There's Link jumping off jump pads and floating through bubbles, and like there's even the Mission Impossible Link, like going through the laser grid, floating ships. Zelda picks up the Master Sword at one point. There's this weird gray goat deer looking creature that nobody knows who that is. Lots of huge enemies shown off in this.
Or the elven looking Zelda.
There were elven looking
the Zelda the one.
Was it Zelda or was it
she looked like it could have been a elven version. I don't know if you want to call it a version of her, but when I saw that, the first thing that popped in my head was the Dark World.
Oh, Low Rule.
Hilda.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of.
So, yeah, I mean, tons going to Link is flying on a rocket. Did y'all catch that? There's a rocket
attached to his shield. Yes.
There was on rails minecart combat going on.
Yes.
At one point, Link is seated or standing on top of a tank that's been built out of
cinder block.
Cinder block and some wheels going after a stone talus that has a fortress built on top of it.
Yes.
And then, like we've already kind of talked about this, but Ganondorf, holy cow!
And then what was said during that scene, like the voice when you got to that also tripped me out too. It's like when you got into it, it was like all this visual stuff, but then you got this really
Nintendo actually highlighted that quote. It says, "Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world."
Yeah, right there. And hearing that said there was just like, what is going on?
I know, like I'm going to go back and watch this, and I love like the trailer. There's this, I mean, like you're kind of getting a glimpse of the story. You're kind of getting a glimpse of what's going on. And the trailer ends with Link looking up into the sky, and there's this 3-headed dragon that looks just, and it's got to be like, I think that the enemy in the original Zelda was called Gleeok or something like that.
Yep.
And holy cow, it looked just ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
And it blacks out. You get the date and you get the 3 chords of the lullaby, right? Da, da, da. Perfection. I will say this, as much stuff, as much crap as we give Nintendo sometimes about their hesitance to share information, most of the time when they do it, they blow it out of the water, right? And they do a really good job of showing you things to make you think you've seen a lot, and you really haven't. Because somebody brought out, when I was kind of critical about it, they're like, man, listen, all of the trailers from like Breath of the Wild were just the Great Plateau.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, that was the whole big reveal, is that right before Breath of the Wild launched and they did the whole Nintendo Treehouse, is that they revealed everything we've seen just thus far has just been the tutorial area. We haven't even seen anything else, and it was such a wow moment. So I have a feeling a lot of the stuff they showed prior to it was all beginning early game, and who knows, maybe even the stuff we saw today is within the first 3 hours. I mean, we don't know.
I'll give props to Nintendo for I think it looks like they've listened to people. It looks like we're getting some of the elements of Zelda that we missed in Breath of the Wild that we, wanted back. I think they've done a great job through all of these new trailers of making this world look gigantic, right? Like making it look like this huge, enormous, thriving adventure.
And I think it's going to, a lot of times when people have played, when we've all played Breath of the Wild, I've heard a lot of people say, man, I wish I could go back to that first time I played it, that first time feeling. And we're going to get that. It's not going to be the same, obviously, because we've been in this world to a certain extent. But it's going to be, it's a whole new game that and whole new discoveries and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get as close to that same feeling as we did with the first one.
My stupid self is thinking about going back and restarting Breath of the Wild in the time that I have between now and then, because I want that feeling again. But I want to experience that world again, and I know it's going to be similar but different. Nintendo convinced me today that they've done more than enough to make this different. This is not going to feel like 2.0. Right,
it's not going to feel like DLC that they built on either.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, it may have been a DLC thought that gave them an idea to do some of this stuff, but this is true on, full on whole new game. So,
well, Alnuma said one of the quotes before the trailer actually came on that I really picked up on was he said, "We can't wait to see you explore this world and use your imagination."
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the hook with Breath of the Wild. I think it's a hook with that game in particular, was that so many people not only were reapproaching Zelda in a different way, but we were approaching open world games in a different way with Breath of the Wild. And that's what helped capture people. And it's going to do it again. This is like... Yep. I don't now. Do I believe that this is going to like dethrone Mario Kart and Animal Crossing? No, because Zelda is a top tier Nintendo IP, but it doesn't ever sell as much as Mario or Pokemon or whatever. But I think it's got a pretty dang good shot of selling a bunch. And I really, after today's trailer, like I feel like it's got a pretty good shot of being Game of the Year this year.
Oh yeah, easily. One of the funny things is after they showed the 10-minute thing where they showed like the merging and connecting everything, I saw a lot of people go like, oh, even you mentioned you were just whelmed, and, like, oh, it wasn't that great, or maybe it didn't do anything for you. And like, if this lands, which it looks like it's going to land, you're going to see, as you just said, a new way of looking at open world games. You're going to see a whole new set of open world games that is going to use a very similar connecting mechanic like Tears of the Kingdom. And it's like, you're all going to copycat off the success. Fusion.
Yep. Oh, now, I agree.
I'm curious because Tim mentioned pre-ordering, which I did too. I'm curious, which version did you guys pre-order, collector's edition or not? And did you go for any of the pre-order bonuses or anything?
I wasn't able to even get close to a collector's edition. I wanted to because I got the Breath of the Wild collector's edition, but I ended up using a voucher on it because I saved $30 on it in Advance Wars. So I mean, I'm okay with not getting the collector's edition of this one. It stung a little bit at first, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for the beginning, I missed out on a lot of those pre-orders as well, but thankfully the community came together and they heard my plight from the podcast, and I kept getting pings from everybody like Ebicel saying, "Hey, it's up here, it's up there." And thankfully, a lot of times though, when I get those pings, I'm working and I have my that kind of stuff turned off, so I'm not distracted from doing work stuff. But thankfully, at that moment, I think it was around 5 o'clock. It was posted on Amazon, I'm thinking it was, and the link there. So I was able to jump on that and get the special edition physical version. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I would say don't give up, Marty. There, look at other editions. Nintendo actually showed something very recently with Metroid Prime Remastered, where oh my God, there's a demand for physical. We'll reprint it. Sure, let's get some more copies out there. So
and the collector's edition of Breath of the Wild came out. After I was in store to pre-order that at GameStop, like when the Switch went on pre-order. But which one did you get?
I got the collector's edition, and then I wound up pre-ordering a couple extra regular copies to get the 2 different Walmart banners and the GameStop block of wood and the Best Buy panel, and then I'm just gonna return the game and keep the pre-order.
That's my favorite. Like, we've got a banner, we've got this, we have a block of wood.
Good old GameStop, right?
I'll say that it's actually pretty cool. I think it is, but it's like it's like, what'd you get with your game? A block of wood.
I got wood.
Well, I did pre-order the OLED
Oh yeah, nice
system, and I'm gonna give my old Switch OLED to my son, and I'm gonna keep the Zelda one.
You got the carrying case as well.
I did not get the carrying case because I've got those.
Oh, the
and
grip.
I just bought a Splatoon 3 Pro controller back in November, so I'm out on those. I've got the mini compact, or the what are they called, the Hori,
the split pad pros.
Split pad pro, but I've got the compact
those.
one, and I just bought a case that is for that, so I'm gonna keep using those.
I love the split pad pro.
That's what I'm getting. Yeah, they're good. But speaking of the OLED, let's move on here. GameStop has reportedly fired the employee who leaked the Tears of the Kingdom OLED model. And to go a little further, they fired the employee at the request of Nintendo, who contacted them directly and said, you need to get rid of this guy.
Well, so I read the article, though, and I mean, I understand completely, because my job is like, there's stuff you got to sign. It's like you cannot talk about stuff, and then especially if we work with other companies, you cannot talk about that stuff because that will ruin reputations and all that kind of stuff. So, totally understandable. But the title was a little misleading, because I was thinking like this was back when the OLED was first leaked. But no, this has to do with, this person was like, oh, we're getting the OLED here at the store, getting ready to do pre-orders. So he put out a Reddit about, hey, Nintendo's getting ready to do a, pre-order for this, so get ready. It wasn't anything about the OLED being leaked other than just being, get ready for pre-orders. So that's the part is like, was it really that bad, Nintendo?
Well, maybe they figure if he's going to do that, he could do something else. And Nintendo and their secrets. And maybe they got something really big coming up, like a Switch 2, and they want to make sure that there's no leaks whatsoever. So zero tolerance.
There is zero tolerance. And it sucks for sure. But that's why we all have to sign those things. And I'm sure GameStop has the same type of things you have to sign there.
My favorite detail of the entire story is that the guy said, when his manager told him he was fired, this is the quote. He said, "You're fired," and then said, "This is your favorite company, and now they hate you."
Yes.
It was like, yeah, you got ninja'd.
Yep.
Right? You got ninja'd. Do not leak Nintendo stuff. Come on, guys. You should know that by now. They will find you. It's like, they're like Liam Neeson. They're like, we have a particular set of skills, and we will find you and we will ruin you. Don't do this. Don't do it. Couple other little rumors and game updates we want to mention here before we move on. Hopefully this is not spoilers for anybody, since the movie's been out over a week at this point. But Peaches, Bowser's song from the Mario Brothers movie, is eligible for consideration at the Oscars this year for Best Original Song. And I swear, I hope it wins it.
I hope it wins.
My gosh. It's
Just
not going to,
if it gets
but it's hilarious.
Then that means he'll get to sing it on the stage.
Yes. And listen, you want to talk about Jack Black living his best life. It's him dressed up as Bowser at the Oscars singing Peaches live. Perfect. It needs to happen. Can we campaign to make this happen? Is there a fan vote? I don't keep up with rich people giving rich people awards. I don't do that.
I don't understand that whole setup either.
Yeah, so
I can ask somebody and find out.
Yeah, the folks over at RetroLogic might know, and over in the movies,
Film Logic.
Film Logic might know. My wife would know. She loves award shows. She loves a good award show, and that's okay. I love her. A couple other things here. Rumor is that Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is being remade as we speak. This popped up on several kind of notable news sites this week. Did you guys play Thousand-Year Door on the GameCube?
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
I did not.
Do you think if this gets remade that Paper Mario fans will finally shut up?
Yeah, I think they will. I
Is that
mean,
is that the square one?
the square one.
The Square, that's the one Square did. Didn't Square do an?
No,
Or was
that's
that
Super
Mario
Mario
RPG?
RPG.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Never mind.
No,
Now, this one was Intelligent Systems, correct?
Thousand Year Door is considered the best by the majority of fans, and it was the last traditional Paper Mario game, and by traditional meaning the first two. But it is so highly regarded, and
It is the pinnacle of Paper
Pinnacle.
Mario games.
well, because
I
some of
think,
the other ones they're good, but they change things up, like lack of
yeah,
experience points,
yeah.
making battles kind of pointless, and consumables to attack with stickers or paint. Just it ruins it.
So
We
they're
don't
gonna
talk
remake
about
it to
Sticker
be more like
Star
those.
or
Is that what they're gonna do?
no, they're just going to remake it. We don't talk about Sticker Star or Paint by Numbers
Splash.
Mario or whatever that is. I forget. I even forget what the name of that
Color
is.
Splash.
Oh, terrible. Hey, here's a good idea. You have to buy cards and then put them in a deck, but you don't get to keep them because they catch on fire or rip in half every time you use them.
Origami King was fun, although the battle system wasn't my favorite, but I love.
No, but I'll say it was as close to old school Paper
Yes.
Mario as possible. I do wish that they would loosen up on that whole. We can have different bombs or different ghosts or different whatevers.
Yes.
Let up on that. That was some of the best stuff from the.
At least they gave us a great bomb in Origami King.
Oh man,
that
it's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
Absolutely. Couple other game release updates. Super Bomberman R2 is coming in September. This got announced really early. Like I would feel like this would be like, a month or two out. But it's like, hey, September, 5-6 months from now, yeah, you can play Bomberman then.
Is that the one that came out in Stadia?
That was online, I think, right?
Oh.
Or online.
Super Bomberman R actually came out on Stadia, right?
I don't know if
after it launched. This is the one that launched with the Switch with Super Bomberman R.
Okay.
So this is number 2.
Online moment.
There was like a Bomberman 100 or something like that was on Stadia and some of those like a battle royale. That was kind of cool. Pokemon Stadium is now available for Nintendo Switch Online. So if you're an expansion pack member and you haven't downloaded that, be sure to go update your N64 app, and that will be there, albeit limited as it is, without being able to import your Pokemon. And then Aliens Fireteam Elite is getting a cloud version that's coming to Nintendo Switch later on this month. I didn't even know this game exists, but for those of you who like cloud versions of things, it's there. You can have fun stuttering through it, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. That's our news for this week. Let's pause for just a minute for a ad break from our good friends over at Manscaped.
All right, football fans, the NFL draft is here, and the most exciting prospect is the prospect of being perfectly groomed head to toe with our friends at Manscaped. Manscaped has long had elite downfield play with their Lawnmower 4.0, but in 2023, they have the rookie sensation Beard Hedger to ensure the face of your franchise is a pretty one. This 1-2 punch of men's grooming is the best acquisition for any at-home GM. So go to manscaped.com and save some salary cap with our code NINDADS for 20% off plus free shipping. This year, Manscaped can help you make the sexy pick without forgetting about your big uglies up front. That's right, the Beard Hedger and Lawnmower 4.0 are a franchise-changing combo that will have you looking at your roster with pride. Everyone who saw the Super Bowl knows what can happen with poorly managed grass. That type of ball-playing field quality would never happen with the Lawnmower 4.0. This elite electric trimmer is a lock for first-round talent. Just look at its explosive talent with RPM. With all that power, the lawnmower is still the most nimble on the field with its skin-safe technology that reduces nicks and snags while making all the right cuts on hair. In the season of trimming the roster, Manscaped will make sure you're cutting all the right players and not any important pieces to your your deed. You've now done the dirty work. Now it's time to make sure you look out where they are with the beard hedger and its 20 positions of precision. This powerful cordless trimmer helps you customize your look with a rotary wheel that is 20 lengths while only using one guard. In football, having a deep O-line may be a good thing, but in the bathroom, more than one guard is just a mess. Plus, its tough titanium blades and single-stroke efficiency can have you go from a bushy Matt Patricia to a sleek Sean McVay in no time. If you haven't upgraded your grooming tools already, head to Manscaped for a champion-worthy roster. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com. Again, that's NINDADS at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping.
It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you are going to get.
There we go. That's our let's discuss. We're gonna have a discussion with Barry on our topics here that we have.
And
for him.
Can I just say before we get into this that if you are one of our folks who listens and you don't want to hear ads, you can head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show when I talked about our Patreon, but everyone who signed up for Patreon gets an ad-free version of the show with your own feed and everything. That's a good reason to go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and sign up. Now, let's talk to our guest here tonight, Mr. Barry Carenza, founding member of Premium Edition Games. Last night, you just dropped your brand new Spring Direct where you showed off all kinds of cool games coming to Premium Edition. And for those of us, or for those people who did not catch you the last time you were on the show, why don't you just tell us, what does Premium Edition do? What is you guys' mission, and how does all of that work?
Sure. So I'm one of the founding members of the company, and what we do is we take digital-only titles and we release them in high-quality physical releases. For the Switch, we're doing PlayStation 4, we're doing PlayStation 5, we're doing the original NES. We really strongly believe in game preservation, and we do our best to, find some really great titles that, unfortunately, many people haven't heard of, because every week there's like 20 new games on the eShop. There's just so many. It's impossible to keep up. So we try and bring them to the forefront, give them their time to shine, and do cool things, like, because we're collectors, we really want collector's editions that we would want on our shelves. And even our standard editions are pretty much like collector's editions, or if you will, premium editions. All of our games come with full color manuals, not just a folded card. They all come with color inlays, both front and back, high quality slip covers, dust sleeves, and what we call our challenge card, which is completely unique to us, where we asked each developer to come up with a challenge to task all the players. And should you complete that challenge and post it online and show that you did it, we will mail you a physical patch in the mail for each game as our way of saying, congratulations, it's physical achievements. No one else is doing this, and we're really happy to be able to do that.
I love the patches idea. That's like that harkens back to the old school days when you had to do that, like Atari, and got a high score, take a picture, and then they'd send you a patch. I mentioned this before, but I'll always say it when I remember that type of memory, because my grandma got the Activision patch for River Raid for getting high scores for that, which was pretty awesome to see when you're, young kid coming up in some of the video games and your grandma gets a patch.
That's awesome. Well, that's something we wanted to bring back, because the way it is there's so many collectors. First off, there's collectors that keep things sealed. We get it. And then there's just gamers who want to play games, but they just don't have a lot of time. We all know this. So because we do so few games, and the games we do, we really stand behind. We're not just putting in a pretty package for you to put on your shelf. We want you to experience these games, because these are games we love so much that we wanted to get out there physically. So we want you to experience it as well. And we think you're going to love them. And, we wish you all the best of luck on conquering each challenge.
what I really like, and I want to highlight here, is what you just said, that these are games that you love. And this is not something that you guys are doing because you see an opportunity here and it's like, oh, we can make a quick buck or we can make some money here. You guys are gamers. You've been lifelong gamers. You see the value not just in physical gaming, but in indie gaming as well, because you're highlighting and elevating these developers that may otherwise, like you said, be kind of pushed to the side. And I think it's an awesome thing. I would love for you to talk about your spring direct that you guys just launched last night. With I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 new games that you guys have coming.
We did 6 announcements, but one of them was an update. But yeah.
Okay.
So we came out. This is our 6th series of titles. We kind of group things by series, just in terms of releases. So Series 6 has 2 Switch titles in it. The first that we announced was Wife Quest, and Wife Quest is a game that I got for review for Nintendo Fuse, and I played 2 levels of Wife Quest, and I immediately picked up the phone and I called East Asia Soft. And I flat out said, is this available? We need to publish this game. And through some meetings, we were able to make it happen. So we're very honored to be working with East Asia Soft and Pippin Games, who developed Wife Quest, to bring this out. This is a 2D action platformer with RPG elements, where you can permanently upgrade your attack and your defense and your health and magic. And like Mega Man, every time you beat a boss, and the bosses are very challenging, you get a new ability to use. And what makes this so great is, it's just comedic. It is so much fun. And, every enemy you kill, you can do a finishing move on it, because the story is all these women have captured your husband, and you, as the wife, are on a quest to save your husband from all the women that want him. And you get to, choke the enemy's dead, or you get to like pull off their wings, or you get to stomp on their back, and you see their souls leaving their bodies. And it's all comedic and it's hilarious. And you can completely skip doing this. There's no reward for it other than the satisfaction of like you playing like Ninja Gaiden, and you make a jump and an enemy hits you and you fall backwards over a pit and you're like, "Arr!" Well, if that happens, you can really take it to that enemy and make sure that they don't get up again. It's just so much fun. I see a question, will there be a collector's edition? Yes, actually, all of our games come with a retro edition. So we do have a retro edition of Wife Quest, which comes with a guide. It comes with the soundtrack in a retro style box. So we do that for all of our releases. Those are limited. We just want to go that extra mile. We want to, show some extra artwork and be able to give you some extra goodies. Standards, we will keep reprinting to make sure that there's enough in stock for everybody. But Wife Quest is awesome.
That's what I like about what you guys do. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to point that out, is that I really like what you guys do, offering various levels of what somebody wants to purchase.
Yep.
Whether they want to go the full-blown collectors, maybe they get both. Like you said, there might be people who get one for the shelf and one to open up and play or whatever. So that. For me, I got the full-blown collector's edition of the Raji, ancient epic game. So can't wait to get that one. So
we're waiting on the books are on a freight right now, or the art book. So that's going to be a little delayed. That's going to come a little bit after the standard and the retros because of that. It's freight shipping. Well worth it though. Well worth it.
Yeah. Oh. So, but that's what I love what you guys do. You offer those different levels, and that's pretty cool. So,
and we try and price accordingly. So all our retro editions are usually $20 more. So we try not to go extreme. It's $20. You're getting 2 items plus the retro box. In this case, it's a hint book, as well as a soundtrack, and the music is really good in Wife Quest. So we had to go with that. The second game, the Switch game that we're really excited about, this goes up next Monday. It's the first one going up for pre-order because they go up every other week. It goes up on Monday. Is Super Dungeon Maker, which we are so happy to finally.
I'm stoked for this game.
So happy to talk about this game. We just had a whole big thing about Zelda. This is Zelda Maker. This is what we wanted Nintendo to do ever since Super Mario Maker launched on the Wii U. They never did it. This is Zelda Maker. This is not Link's Awakening dungeon maker that they did, where you had pre-made squares that you could put together. No, this is every room you draw. So you can make it a square, you can make it a triangle, you can make it an octagon, whatever you want. You can make it a swirl. You draw every single room as you want it. It's completely free. You can change the doors to locking doors, to key doors, to boss key doors, to just open doors. You can lay traps. You can do triggers like make a key appear when you kill all the enemies. Whatever you want. There's tons of different enemies, tons of different bosses. You can make a 7-floor dungeon. You start on floor 1, you can do 3 basements below and 3 floors up. So you can make this grand, epic dream dungeon that you want. We did one on stream last night because you could play community dungeons. It took us 40 minutes to get through, and it was a blast. They have those sliding ice block puzzles that are in so many games. You could do those and make your own sliding ice block puzzle. You could just have fun making your own dream item and dream dungeon and whatever you want. There's hook shots, there's bombs, there's shields, there's rolls to get like the Rock's Feather style roll. And then you can play community dungeons. Between the Steam version and the Switch version, you could play any dungeon that people have made, and then you could choose to download it onto your Switch so that you can keep it even if you're offline. You could like or favorite dungeons. You could upload your own dungeons, of course, and share them with people. And there's dungeons made by Fire Chick, the developers, as well. So we're really happy to be working with Fire Chick.
I love that name, Fire Chick.
That's the
I
developer.
want that T-shirt that lady had on too.
Yeah.
Can I say that you're not sharing the best part of all this is that you're a chicken?
Yes, you are a chicken. You're looking for a golden egg. That's the end of the level, and you even like bakaw as you roll.
Love it.
Yeah, it's
yes,
fun.
Yes. I can't wait for this one. I'm going to be pre-ordering Super Dungeon Maker.
Something I would put out to everybody too, like if you're thinking like, oh, it's one of those maker games. I'm not that creative. Buy it so you can play what other people create, and just you'd have days and days and years of gameplay probably.
Yeah, there is a good chance that this game physically will be in your hands before other chicken maker games that have been advertised for Nintendo Switch. I'm just saying.
All right.
It's low hanging fruit, but sometimes you have to swing for it. Right.
But so like you said, there's so many dungeons you could just play, and they vary. Obviously, you could get it's not just like Mario Maker. You can get a dungeon really quick and easy, or you can get a 40+ minute epic. You could challenge your friends. You could challenge your community. We're going to task people like, hey, make dungeons for us to play on stream. So Frank, our buddy Frank, who was head of marketing, he's going to be doing it. So please make terribly difficult dungeons for him because we want to watch him suffer. Spike traps all over the place. He loves them. So yeah, this is so much you could do with this game, and the fact that we were able to get this game is like a dream come true. I never thought in a million years that we would have this opportunity, but we do, and we're really happy. So we're doing the North American release, the ESRB rated release of this game, and just really we look forward to it. The retro edition is going to have a guide, and it's going to have another bonus item that we haven't discussed yet. So it's an extra bonus item. And again, all of our games also come with another bonus, which is a pre-order bonus. It's a dog tag. Each game gets its own dog tag. It's just a pre-order bonus. It's a completely free. We're eating the cost of doing it. It's just because we like cool things and we want to just reward people for pre-ordering and just say, hey, you know what? Here you go. It's just our way of saying thank you. So those two will be the two Switch titles. Then we also announced an NES game called Bobby 67 Time Traveling Detective, where you are on a quest through time to catch a man-fish who is going through time and changing all the traffic lights to green to create havoc across the world. This game is so much fun. Action platformer. Actually, this is an NES game, so it's playable on your NES. It'll be a physical NES game with full color instruction manual, NES box, all that. Really, Cal Games did a great job. The developer Clay is a really amazing guy. Been having a lot of good conversations with him, and he's actually went back and enhanced his ROM for the game for this version. This is going to be a special version with enhanced stuff. It's just an awesome game. So if you like NES games, if you like the aftermarket community, definitely give this a check out because it is an original NES aftermarket title to play on your NES.
I loved seeing that in the direct too. It was like,
that is fantastic.
Show the gray cartridge up there when you were showing everything. It was like, it's an NES game. What the heck?
Yeah, we do NES. This is actually our second NES game. We did Orbody's Binder's Tale, which we sold out of, and there was demand, so we reprinted and we did a second print of it for our website to put up because people missed it and they're like, "Oh, I really want to get that game. That's so cool," and it is a great game. So we're happy to keep doing that because there's a really dedicated aftermarket NES community. Despite the fact that the system died so long ago, there's still so much love and so much creativity. So we're happy to be able to highlight one of those titles here tonight or
nice.
Really
awesome. So we've got a couple of questions for you to round out this thing. Couple from our community and one from us, and so we'll save ours till the very end. But the first one is this. Chadtronics has a Kickstarter for a game called Poglings.
Absolutely.
Where you're helping with that physical edition. So is there anything more that you want to mention or you'd like to mention about Poglings, about that campaign?
Absolutely. So we announced it a couple weeks ago that when he announced the Kickstarter that we were going to be doing the physical. We work with Chad. We talk with him pretty much every day. We've been helping him set up the Kickstarter. He didn't know much about Kickstarter, but we helped him out. We got him set up, worked with him, his wonderful team, and we're honored to be able to bring the physical version of this game to life. This answers the question of if Sonic Adventure 1 and 2's Chow Garden kept going, if Sega didn't abandon the idea. So you get to raise your Poglings, they evolve, you can breed them, you can race them, you can have a bunch of adventures, some Animal Crossing elements, just a lot of fun. We're doing right now, the Kickstarter is live. It's crushing. It's almost 5 times the asking price right now. Like awesome. It was funded within 50 minutes. Just awesome. So happy for Chad and his team. And the physical that we have there is a Kickstarter exclusive. It is limited to this. It's exclusive. The only way to get this version. And they're selling really well. Like they're almost sold out in some of the tiers. But we will have our own version of the site, or on our site, our own version later on. That will be when the game is complete. And we're ready. It's ready to go. We'll do our own version. It will be different than the Kickstarter version. I'll have a different slipcover, so you will know if you got the Kickstarter version versus the standard. And some people may want both. So if you want a Kickstarter variant, by all means, grab it now. And then if you that still has like 26 days left, so it's plenty of time still. But definitely check it out and give them some love. And just know, sometime next year we'll have a different version with a retro as well. Going on our website for those that missed it or those that want a different version of the game. But we do want to reward those that get the Kickstarter with their own version of the game.
Very cool. Very cool. Y'all go check that out. This game looks super interesting. I really, really like what I see there. Lunchbox asks this: when will Premium Edition put out a shmup?
A good old Lunchbox. Oh, my friend Lunchbox. So we can say this. I know he's been asking for a shmup for a while. We do actually have a shmup signed. We do have quite a lot of games signed. We're actually signed into 2024, almost to 2025 at this point, with titles. Some really great titles from very talented developers. And we do actually have a shmup that I can't talk about right now. I can also say that I did have a 5-hour meeting earlier today with someone. We talked about 2 actual shmups, two different shmups, and the possibility of us doing them. So hopefully something comes from that. I don't know. We'll see. But that literally just happened earlier today. So they're happening. There's at least the ones we have signed are coming. So stay tuned for that. But we try and diversify our portfolio. We try and have games from all different genres, and we have genres we haven't revealed yet. or at least revealed titles for.
Ooh,
And as
so
you
there's
see,
going to be a premium edition sports section to where you'll have.
we launched our company with Super Blood Hockey.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
we
yeah. See that?
launched
That's
with
right. Yes.
sports.
There you go.
So, just to clarify that, and as you're saying that, like you're signed all the way, you've obviously got things in the pipe.
Of
How
course.
often, for people who aren't familiar with your company, how often do you do a series like this? Like you said you've launched Series 6. So how many times a year do you launch a new series?
We try and do 2 series a year, maybe 3. So it all depends because we go slowly, right? So we don't want to flood the market. We want to. Thanks, Andros. Yeah, are you just saying that because I kicked your butt and I have a nose from yesterday or last night? Little insider joke. So we do a series. We try and do 2 a year because we go slowly, but we do sometimes we'll do 3. We don't want to flood the market. We want every game to get its fair share of time. That's why we're doing releases once every other week. So we're giving each game. Boo, Landros. We do a release every other week. There we go. I love it. There you go, Andros. That's right. Last night he said I'm not one of his best friends, right to my face. So it's okay. I had to get him back. So like if you notice in the direct, we let the developers speak. We want to get their input in there. We want them to be a part of it. We want them to connect with the gamers. We do that with all of our releases. So we would love to, if we could be like, oh yeah, we could do 1 billion games, great, but we know no one's going to be able to afford 1 billion games, and we know that's not going to help the problem that already is the eShop, where it's already flooded. There's so many times we release a game or we reveal a game and we get that I've never heard of this before. This looks great. We've seen it with almost every single one of our releases. There's always at least one person that's never heard of a title. And we're like, all right, well, this is our job. It's our job to bring this to the forefront, which is why right now, we're talking about what we just revealed. Is there stuff in the pipeline? Absolutely. Is there stuff that came before? Yes. And definitely check out our website because we have almost all of our titles available on our website, many of them in hand. I think we're sold out of a couple, but all the way up to Rack and Ruin, we have in hand. So definitely check those out. You can get them and enjoy because those games are great. And we did an update in the beginning. Our Series 5 titles like Raji, like you mentioned, They Bleed Pixels, Love 3, and Eagle Island Twist will all be coming soon. The carts are there. We're waiting for the rest of the stuff because the manuals, the slipcovers, they all come from different facilities to our assembly plant. And then once that happens, they'll go to our warehouse and you'll be shipped out and then we'll put remaining copies up. We're also at a bunch of conventions, so you'll be able to buy at conventions as well.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So here's our last question. And this is one thing that we're happy to talk about. Everybody who has worked with you guys has always talks about how it's a wonderful experience, that you guys are just professionals, that, it's a great experience through and through. So here's the question. If the Nintendo dads wanted to bring their game, like say we developed a game, let's just say it's artisanal sandwich maker with Jesse Waldeck. All right. It's like root beer tapper. But you're making artisanal sandwiches. You're serving like Adam Leonard from the Mega Dads, various other people. I don't know. It could be anything. It could, whatever. It could be a fighting game where Justin's beating Tim down for the belt over there.
Whoa.
But if we wanted to bring our game to the physical market, why should premium games be our first choice?
Well, you should pick premium edition games as your first choice because we truly care about everybody that we work with. We will give you the time of day. We will be there to support you. We will work with you. Even like contracts, like every contract is different. We will work with you. We will do things to accommodate you. We will want to make sure that you're happy. And one of the things I tell every developer we talk with is I always reference the MCU because so many people know the MCU by now. When that started, they locked in like, Robert Downey Jr. and Samuel Jackson to multi-film contracts, and they don't do that anymore. Now it's a movie by movie contract. And the reason for that is they want people to have such a good experience working on a movie that they want them to come back and reprise the role. And we tell all of our developers that that's what we do with these contracts. It's not just a game by game contract, it's a contract of partnership. So while the contract itself is truly only for the one game, we want you to have such a good experience working with us that for all future projects that you think of us first and you come back to us. And this way you already know what you're expecting and what you're getting into, and we'll make it happen, and we'll just continue to make awesome stuff together. So that's really what I would say.
Sold.
Right? You heard it here first, guys. Jesse Waldeck's Artisanal Sandwich Tournament is going to launch with Series 7 of Premium Edition games. Well, Barry, thanks so much for talking about like the nature of your work and how, like what you're pouring into these games and the community that you're creating there. If people would like to find you or buy their own copy of the games or even listen to the podcast that you're on, can you tell people like where to find you and where to like support you and really most importantly, let's be honest, where to give you money?
So you can purchase all of our titles at premiumeditiongames.com, where we have, like I said, most of the series 1 to 4 titles up. Right now they're in hand, so you can pick those up. They still can pre-order a few of the Series 5 titles. They will be shipping out here in the next coming months once we get everything in hand. We have our Series 6 pre-orders going up. We've got Super Dungeon Maker going up on Monday. We've got Bobby 6-7 and Wife Quest going up subsequent Mondays after that. So please make sure to get those early pre-orders in so you get the dog tag. We do mega packs as well. So if you just want to get all of it in one click, you can go ahead and do that. We have some of our PlayStation stuff up for pre-order as well. So definitely give those a check. You could also follow Premium Edition Games on Twitter at Premium Edition 1, as well as all the places at Premium Edition Games. Make sure to join our Discord, sign up for our newsletter, so you don't miss out on any of the updates or fun new announcements, because we'll always be doing new announcements. As for like the Premium Playcast, you can listen to that at premiumeditiongames.com or on all podcast services. As for the Nintendo Fuse podcast, you can also listen to that on all podcast services, as well as youtube.com/Nintendo Fuse, or go to nintendofuse.com for Nintendo news. And then if you just want to talk to me, I'm on Twitter at Hawk Hellfire. So please, send me a message. Let's talk games.
Absolutely. And just before we transition to the next part of the show, we're gonna do an impromptu contest here. Because I'm in charge and we can do this. This next week, we are going to give away one standard edition game of the winner's choice from Premium Edition Games. So to enter that contest, all you have to do is follow us. And so if you follow us on Twitter, if you follow us on YouTube, if you follow us on Twitch or Instagram, or even if you're a Patreon follower or patron of the show, you get an extra entry. All you have to do is follow us. All right, and we'll post this in our socials tomorrow as well. But you guys who are here at the recording of the show and listening to it right now as well, you're the first to know. The winner will get to pick one standard edition that is currently available from the Premium Edition website, and we will gift that to you. Just all you have to do is follow us on social media, or an extra entry if you're a patron of the show. Tim, you got that? I noticed you were kind of moving around over there, so thank you. Appreciate that. And so, Barry, with that, we're going to transition into the next part of our show here, where we talk about a few events coming up. Ooh, I like it. That was new.
Discord community events, as always, we have the table every second Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. The community gets together at the table, otherwise known as a Discord voice chat room, to discuss whatever is on everyone's mind. Want to join in? Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or DM any one of us on social media to learn more. And in case you didn't know, whether you subscribe to us via Patreon or Twitch, you get access to Discord and a schwack load of events like the table and Monthly Mayhem. And speaking of Monthly Mayhem, that one just ended, but stay tuned to the Dads After Dark show for the next Monthly Mayhem. And also, to add to what Marty just said about the contest, he mentioned that if you're a Patreon, you get an extra entry. But if you're a Twitch subscriber, you also get an extra entry.
Twitch Prime.
Yes.
That's what you meant.
Twitch
right?
Prime, yes. The Twitch
Prime.
Twitch subscription.
Is that what it's called now?
It's just a subscription, but if you're using Prime to get that subscription, that's fine as well. So
there you go. Okay. Yeah, if you subscribe to us on Twitch. I don't know how that works. I don't use Twitch. I don't. Yeah,
right.
But yeah. Anyway, now it's time to talk about what we've been playing. All right, Barry, you know what we're doing. This time of the show, we talk about what we've been playing, just a little flyover, maybe highlight one title you've really been enjoying. What have you been playing lately, sir?
Well, in addition to the stuff we just announced at Premium Edition, I've been playing Atelier Ryza 3 because, or for 2 and 3 actually. 3 came out and I really wanted to play it, but I needed to go and do 2 first. So I just finished 2 and I just started 3. And these are my first Atelier games, and if you've never played them, they're a crafting RPG where it's more like open world action adventure with turn-based combat, where you can, like, crafting is such a focus where you can craft your own equipment and craft your own weapons and empower them, as well as a lot of quests, and the story involves your alchemy and crafting. But really great story. Really great trilogy. I'm happy to see, you know, where it ends up. Really enjoying 3. 3 is even more open world, almost like Zelda, where it's no longer like loading zones. Like, it's just like seamless. You go from one area to another and just keep loading in. But it's using like the world map and a lot of the world map from the first game, which was more segmented. So it was really cool to see. Just having a blast with it. So if you like JRPGs, I definitely recommend giving these a shot.
nice.
Awesome. Okay. Tim, what you been playing?
So what I've been playing, let me grab this real quick. So what I've been playing is a few games that I've obviously been continuing on my Fire Emblem Engage routine here, trying to finish that up. I had, at the time that I gave my last update, I had about 9 paralogs left to do, 2 divine paralogs, and 2 more chapters to do. I played, I don't think I played all 9 regular paralogs yet. I think I still have 2 more to go, but I knocked out 7 of those paralogs.
Wow.
Just basically trying to OP my characters so that when I go into the last 2 chapters, I will just knock it out of the park. So, but I'm really enjoying my time with that game, and can't wait to get back to getting that done, especially before next week, before Advance Wars comes out. So, but I also have been playing a couple other games that I did a video on, or one other game, the Tray Racers. It is a free-to-play game on the United States eShop. I think it's elsewhere too, but yes, I said Tray Racers. So you are racing on a tray.
Not ray tracers.
No, not ray tracers. Tray Racers, where you're racing downhill on a tray. You can customize your characters, and it is a couch local party multiplayer type game where you can have a bunch of people join in either locally or online, and you just race downhill for the best time. So you can do it all at the same time, or you can go do the weekly challenges and race against people who have their best times. Not necessarily race against them, but you're trying to get the best time and get on the leaderboard for the week. So far it's been a lot of fun. My family did the video that we did, helped me do the video that we did and put up on our page. He joined in. Sammy wanted to keep playing after the fact, after we were done with doing the video portion. So sounds like a game that we'll probably be playing around here a little bit longer. Again, the game is free to play. Everybody can go in and download it, but they do have a supporter pack that you can purchase for $6, and it plants a tree. I forget where, but it basically buying and planting a tree with that,
like a real tree,
like a real tree that's being planted somewhere. And for doing that, you get 2 extra characters that you can't get in the free pack, the free version. So,
is there like a lot of single player content, or is it more online?
It is. The content is, like I said, the single player is just basically setting up your character and playing asynchronous. You just go into the weekly challenges and try to beat whoever scores on a particular track, or time. Excuse me. Not
is there
scores,
like any
but time.
unlockables, or is it just that it's mainly focused for online stuff or multiplayer?
Right now it's just, I think it's multiplayer. I didn't see any way to unlock anything, and I didn't see anything as far as, like you would get for battle pass type stuff. I didn't see anything like that yet, but they just launched it. It actually launched today. And again, it's Tray Racers, and I think they're probably going to build upon what they have there. I think it's just a kind of like foundation to start with. People can start jumping in. It's got some really interesting aesthetics. Like, basically the world is a post-apocalyptic world, where basically everything's sandy and water and all that kind of stuff. But you're racing downhill, to just for fun. That's what this culture does in the future. After post-apocalyptic.
You just sold a copy. I just got it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, you get a free version. So, but like I said, you can also, if you like it, you can always support and get 2 other characters in your roster there. And I think those characters also come with additional add-ons as well. So, but it was very cool to play. We played a good 45 minutes, I think, on the video, and then played a little bit afterwards. So, right now it's single system only, if I remember correctly. It wasn't like we all I didn't hand anybody Joy-Cons or anything like that. There isn't split screens. It's everybody has to have their own Switch and play. So, but we were able to do it like locally. I set up a private room. I hit the plus sign and was able to get the code to have them join, and they joined in, and then we just had a good old time. So, on the video.
Cool.
So that's Tray Racers again. So
yeah,
but that's what I've been playing. Plus, as you guys might have seen on my in Twitter, Final Fantasy took over my home screen and Switch with all the downloads.
Me too.
Yep.
So
me too.
I have a ton of things. It was like getting ready to do the video, and then I was like, 6 games just popped up on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where I'm at, Tim. Like I'm waiting on next week, because next week I'm going to have a ton of games to play between Final Fantasy 1 through 6 and Advance Wars. And it's not out yet, but I'm hopefully getting a copy. Is Mega Man Battle Network collection that comes out tomorrow as we're recording this. I am looking forward to that. And that's a lot of like strategy and RPGs, right? To play.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hell of a lot.
like that's going to give me quite a bit to work through. I'm also still working through and have been actively playing Hogwarts Legacy with my wife. We play because like I'm a filthy casual Harry Potter fan. Like I like the movies and the books equally. And I know the universe. She reads the books every year. She's a super fan. So is my daughter. But like anytime that I have an excuse where she will sit on the couch with me while I play a video game, that's fantastic. So we're doing the Hogwarts Legacy. I'm about 17 hours into it, and I have done maybe 10% of the story because I just can't quit doing side quests.
Yes.
So I love it. Like I'm going to be super powerful for the rest of the game because I've already got all these spells and everything, and it's great. The only gripe about that game is like there is absolutely no way to create a fat wizard. And so my avatar just looks like Rick Astley if he went to Hogwarts. So, you know, that's
hilarious.
It's what it is. Like I tried to get as close to myself as possible. I was like, this is not happening. So next best thing, Rick Astley sounds like Harry Potter and he's a Hufflepuff. Great. So I've been playing that. We are still, The Last of Us is on pause right now. I'm really okay with The Last of Us. Like it's a fine, but like that game is so depressing. Like I just feel bad about myself every time I play it. And I don't do scare games a lot. Like I'm not a spooky media type person. And so I just like, I have to be in a very right mindset and it has to be daylight outside for me to play it. So it's there, it's getting done. But I've also been working my way back to where I was on the Xbox version of Power Wash Simulator on the Switch. And I saw this week that we're getting even more new content on April 18th for Power Wash Simulator. Like there's a whole new section that's going to open and they're going to do like a physical copy of that as well. So that y'all, when I say that Power Wash Simulator may very well be in my top 5 games of all time, it's not a lot. That's not a meme.
You weren't joking.
I'm joking. It's up there with Undertale and Super Mario 3 and Mega Man 2. I love this. It's just so like I know there's other games like Farm Simulator and all that. So I don't care about that. Like just give me a pressure washer and let me wash this firehouse. It's fine. But the game I really want to talk about that I do have a video up on our channel of is Lunark, which is out from Way Forward. And if you're a fan of Out of This World or Another World, as it's called sometimes, or Flashback or Prince of Persia, go get this game right now. It's so good. The music is fantastic. It's set in this futuristic kind of like neon-ish dystopian world where there's droids that like are, I don't know, like you work for a company that manufactures droids and there's something bad happens and now you're unraveling this mystery as this like human cat hybrid who has powers, but like we haven't figured out what those are yet in the story. But it's part puzzle, part action game, parts platformer. And so brilliantly animated and just beautiful. And there's like some really cool, like if you remember those, especially Flashback and Another World, there were some scenes that were like animated, like it wasn't like gameplay, but it was like actual, like they used the in-game engine to animate it and it's pixel art. It was beautiful. Same thing for this. It's just chef's kiss. I love it. It's such a fun game. So yeah. Lunark is it's going on it'll probably end up on my like top 10 of the year. Like I'm that confident in it. It's really special. And so I think you should go check it out. Absolutely. Well, guys, that's what we've been playing. Let's move on to the community spotlights. And our community spotlight is usually where we turn the spotlight on our guest. But Barry, we've already done that for you. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're actually just going to move straight into our questions. And these come from everywhere, like our Discord community, Patreon, Twitter. We've even got a voicemail we're going to play tonight. But here's some questions. The first one comes from Quagmire. And he says, as I pre-ordered the Mario movie on Amazon, I was reminded that Hollywood gives you 2 discs and a digital copy with most movies these days. This pales in comparison to what the games industry or to a games industry that makes you choose. I have multiple Switches, and it'd be nice to have a physical copy in my OG Switch and the digital copy on my OLED since it has more storage. Should the games industry give us more choice and value with our purchases, especially as they move to the $70 standard model? Barry, this is, I'm so glad you're here on this. Maybe give us a little insight on the business end of this. Why, like, could this happen, or is it just not feasible?
I mean, could it happen? I would say yes, but I don't think you're going to get it at $70. So the reason digital games are the prices that they are, the exact same as the retail, is because of Walmart, Target, Best Buy, GameStop. All these game companies have contracts with those big box retailers where they have to keep the digital price the same as the physical. Because if they said, well, we're going to make the digital $20, in which case normally we could throw it in, sure. You're going to do that over spending the $70, and those big box retailers are going to hurt. So that's why this contract is in place. It's to protect them. So digital prices will always be the same. So in order to convince them to say, give us both, it's going to be a hard sell, a real hard sell, because you know why? People spend millions and millions and millions of copies sold for physical as well as millions sold for digital. And why would they want to give that up? Why would they want to give that up? They're not going to. It's a business. These game companies, it's a business. You know, and physical games are expensive to produce too. I mean, I'll tell you, the smallest Switch card, which is a 2 gig Switch card, costs $8. $8 just for the card, each. So that's a lot of money when you factor it in. And as it goes up, 4 gig goes up to $9, then 8 gig to $10, etc. Which you could say, well, come on, it's, that's $10, whatever. That's not that bad. And then you factor in 1 million copies sold. That's a lot of extra money that's going to cost. They don't want to give that up. They're already putting in that extra money. They want to get profit. On top of that, when you sell to a company like Walmart, Target, GameStop, GameStop takes a cut. GameStop gets a cut of those game sales. The publisher gets a cut. The developer gets a cut. Then there's the production costs. So in the end of the day, they're not making as much. And you may say, well, what about digital? They make more than, but they don't always do that either, because first off, digital, if it's a smaller title, they're definitely going to be cheaper. But the console manufacturer takes a cut. Whatever console you're playing on, including like Steam, they're going to take a cut. So if you buy a game on the eShop, oh, this is $20 in the eShop, great. Nintendo is getting some of that $20. So it would be wonderful in a perfect world to get physical and digital for every game. That would be amazing. I totally agree. But the difference with movies is digital movies isn't a real big industry. Because a lot of it's renting. You don't even, when you do a digital movie, usually you're renting because you watch the movie and you're done with it. $2.99 rental, $3.99 rental, whatever. That's it. It's a much smaller thing versus a game where you're going to play for hours upon hours upon hours. There's definitely more bang there, but I would love it. I just don't see it happening. Not anytime soon, unfortunately.
Okay. Very thorough and very good answer. I appreciate that. And it's something I've wondered too. Like, I mean, you go and you buy a Disney movie and you get the full screen, the widescreen Blu-ray and a digital copy. The thing is too, and I would say this is one thing that you got to understand is that, like, for games, physical media especially, the difference in DVDs is those DVDs are selling millions of copies of the actual physical media. Whereas even a game, like when we hear a million seller game, like that's great, but that did not used to be the case, right? It wasn't for every game, right?
No.
And digital and physical sales are getting factored in together with gaming.
Well, even with movies, I think DVD sales and Blu-ray sales are on a decline because of streaming. I mean, so
absolutely.
many people, it's just like, oh, I'll just stream it, whatever. Because again, with a movie, you watch it and you're done with it. You're not, I mean, maybe watch it a second time, but you're that's it. You've got the whole experience. A game, you're done in like 2 hours, right? 2.5 hours, 3, whatever, however long the movie is, you're done. A game, you're looking at, especially a big game, you're looking at 6, 8, 10, 15, 20, 30. Tears of the Kingdom could be 100+ hour game. You're getting so much that with streaming, you can't do that. Like Stadia proved it. Like you just can't do it. This country infrastructure is not there. So you need to have it native. And in order for that, it's no longer really a rental. It's you now have it. Game Pass is showing that there's a model that could work. But again, not everybody in the country can take it and be able to handle it because of the internet. And again, games are bigger and they're a much bigger industry now at that point. So it would be wonderful, like I said, like to have that kind of experience. Look, Sony did the PlayStation Now when it first launched, where you could rent games, and it was like stupid expensive. It was like $40 for like 4 hours or something stupid. It's just they look at this as a different industry, as how can they make the most money, what's going to sell, and even with stuff, look at Square Enix. How many titles did they say, oh, this underperformed, this sold them, like Tomb Raider like sold like 4 million copies, and I was like, oh, that underperformed, like 4 million copies and that underperformed, like holy crap. So yeah, if that's an underperformance and you gave a digital and a physical together, that wouldn't be 4 million copies. That would be less than 4 million copies, because not everybody would have bought, or they would have given it to their friend. That's another thing. How many people buy a DVD or a Blu-ray and they sell off the digital copy? They'll say, oh, I'll sell it to you for $5 or whatever. If you did that with games, could you imagine buying Tears of the Kingdom for $70, getting the physical and the digital, and saying to your friend, hey, yeah, how about $35? You take the digital, I'll take the physical, and now you each get the game for $35, because that's going to happen. So that's another reason they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
Yeah,
great point.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of passing it back and forth, right? Woo.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot. Great question, Quack. I really appreciate it. Darth Platypus asked this: since the Mario movie looks like it's cleared its budget, what movie from Nintendo do we think we will get next? And what is the out of left field Nintendo movie that you'd like to see? We'll start with you, Barry.
Well, I think the next one's going to be Mario 2. I think they teased it with Yoshi. I think it's a safe bet. Let's not confuse people. Let's get people more invested in the universe. They did the same thing with the MCU. Yes, Incredible Hulk was the second movie, but it dropped right after Iron Man, and they weren't sure how everything was going to go. But once they realized this was going to be big and Iron Man did so well, the next movie was Iron Man 2. So I think Nintendo will do the exact same thing. They will do Mario 2. Left field, Star Tropics. Let's get a Star Tropics movie. Mike Jones, it's your time.
Yes, I would love that. Let's do it. Fantastic. Tim, what about you? I think I know what your answer is going to be before we even talk about this, but go ahead.
No, I agree that probably Mario 2 is the smart bet. I mean, they're gonna probably already start work on it and talk about it and all, and maybe they already had something in the pipe like that couldn't get into the first one, and they're like, no, let's save that for the second one. So they probably already got some things lined up. The left field one, I'm gonna say, is probably going to be F-Zero, and this goes back to the idea of me having that idea for another F-Zero game that I shared with All In Podcast and I shared here, but that's basically Captain Falcon wants to open a ramen restaurant. So he has to race to earn money to do that. And then he also is learning new recipes. And then when he's starting to do that and earn money to open his new restaurant, he's also got a balance between that and getting more money to update his ship, his racer, so that he can go to faster races and earn more money. So the new F-Zero game.
I have
an actual game or
two questions. Two questions for you, Tim, on that. One, is he going to hire Min Min to work at the restaurant?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And number two, what about his bounty hunting gig? Because he is a bounty hunter.
Yep. That's going to be how we tie in Metroid into this. So because they're two in the same universe, and then we'll get an offshoot show for Metroid where she has to save the last Metroid and carries it across the galaxy, preventing it from being taken by the Federation.
And
Wait,
she
is that the
she carries it.
Mandalorian? Sorry.
She carries it across the galaxy with the help of a young, brash pilot by the name of Fox McCloud.
There you go. Yep, that's what, well, yeah, they cross paths all the time, so.
Right.
Well,
so there you go.
One ending of Star Fox Command had them, becoming G-Zero racers. So, and James McCloud is a racer in F-Zero.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
There's a huge. That's the whole Nintendo thing right there. The whole Nintendo.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you guys. I think Mario 2 is the safe bet. That's coming next. The one that I would love to see, Animal Crossing. Honestly, I think that with the success of Mario, that nothing is off the table, and I think that out of all of Nintendo's IP, Animal Crossing is the one that I think is most open that you could do anything with, and Illumination using that and making it a comedy movie would be fantastic.
Can you imagine like an Animal Crossing kind of office type show or something?
Yes. I love it.
I would like to have the subtitle "Tales from the COVID Pandemic."
Yes.
What happens when a pandemic reaches the island of Animal Crossing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then it becomes a trauma movie. Yeah. And when you say, like, I love Darth Platypus's thing here, since it looks like it's cleared its budget. It's clear.
Oh yeah,
it's cleared its budget. It's multiple times over. Absolutely, Mikey Burgett. Mikey Burgett asked this. Another podcaster that I listen to and follow is looking to do more video content. Do you have any recommendation for video cameras to use to make videos for YouTube? Tim? Do you want to fill this one? Barry?
I don't have any specific brand, but DSLRs are the biggest deal if you're going to get into that. That's the number one type of camera. Not like they have some nice ones that are like the Logitech ones or like the one you got, Marty, just recently, where it's just, this built-in camera and webcam type thing. But if you seriously doing video content, a lot of people have DSLRs.
Yeah. Barry, any suggestions?
I use a Logitech, but if DSLR is better for that type of content, then I will agree with Tim. He's definitely more knowledgeable on that than I am.
I didn't do enough research into what that, which brand or which model is the most beneficial. But
I would say that's what I was going to point out was research, because when in the very beginning of it's funny that you mentioned COVID, Barry, that at the very, very, very beginning of the COVID pandemic, when we made a decision here to shut down as a church and not have services on the weekend, that night, they authorized me and one of our other staff members go and buy a camera, something, because we're going to have to film things. We're going to have things go to YouTube. We bought a very well-respected brand of DSLR camera, only to find out once we got it and began to fiddle around with it, that it did not have any way to record sound. It only recorded video. And it did have like a headphone jack style input, but we never could get it to work. Like with a microphone, we tried rigging it multiple different ways. And eventually what we had to do was we had to film with that camera while whoever was speaking wore a lapel mic that was attached to my iPhone, where I recorded the audio in a voice memo. Then we merged them, and it was a nightmare. So ease of use is you might pay a little bit more for the features you want. But and let me say this, from doing this as long as I have, as far as it being, like collecting mics and cameras and cords and all that stuff, this is an expensive hobby. There's an investment you have to make to create content. And so what you really, one of the questions I think that's most important to ask is this, is video content something you're going to do and stick with for a long time? Because you need to make sure the investment is worth it. In the case of the person you're listening to, they're probably wanting to do like in front of the camera work. For me, it was the question of what do I need to do to be able to stream gaming? What do I need to be able to do to have OBS overlays, things like that? So that was more technical knowledge I had to figure out, and I've pieced it together over time. And thankfully, Nintendo Dads has helped with some of that. But again, weigh the options here. Is this content something you're going to want to create for a long time? That would make a higher end purchase more worth it.
Another thing to do too, especially going off of what Marty was saying, for that podcaster, if they want to go into video, if you have already or you're going to be upgrading soon, the best phone on the market with the best cameras will also be pretty darn good for video quality recording type stuff. So like the top of the line iPhone or top of the line Android with the best cameras and video recordings on there will actually do pretty darn good at doing what you want to do at first. And then when you're getting more into it and doing what you want to do and you needing something more dedicated, then spend the money on that DSLR and that extra microphone connection and all that kind of stuff that Marty was talking about that you will eventually need. But you can always start with because when Marty was talking about all the things we had to start with, just use your phone. Start there. Tell that podcaster, just start with their phone, with setting that up and recording and just seeing how that goes, especially with doing that. Maybe especially with having to learn video editing and all that. If they don't already know that, it's going to have to come down to just use the things you have already or already know. Bring in one new thing at a time so that you're not overwhelmed. So like I said, if you're using a phone and then you're learning new software for video editing, learn that. And then eventually down the road, once you're getting comfortable with everything, then start looking at upgrading that video recording tool. So you're on mute, Marty. You're on mute.
I am. I don't know. I've forgotten how to podcast. I'm sorry. I was just saying, great answer. Another thing to do is if you buy equipment, figure out how to use it. There you go. Mecca asks us this. It's been over a week since the premiere of the Super Mario movie. Do you feel the same about it when you saw it on release, or has your opinion changed at all? How many times have you dads seen the movie so far? Before we answer that, I think this would be a good time to play Christian's voicemail. Because he kind of talks about the same thing in there. So, Tim, if you would play that.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, it's me, Christian. All right, so I had a question for you. Something strange happened to me and my family as we watched the Mario movie 3 times. Yes, we watched it 3 times. Once on opening night, once on Friday, and once again on Saturday. And we enjoyed this movie so much. We had a great time. And the first time we watched it just by ourselves and our own family. Then Friday we brought more friends to watch it with us. Then Saturday we brought those friends plus more friends, and it was just great. But something strange happened each time we watched that movie. And I want to know if you guys had the same experience or not. I don't know if you saw it multiple times yet. But at the end of the movie, the final credit, the last little surprise, that Yoshi egg? The first time I saw the movie on opening night, it was just the scene of the Yoshi egg. Then the second night, we saw the Yoshi egg, but then it cracked, which was strange because I thought, well, it didn't crack before on the first time, but at this time, the end scene, it cracked. Then on the last time we saw it, the Yoshi egg cracked, then there was a piece of the egg that fell off, and then it said, Yoshi! so strange. I've never experienced watching an end credit scene where it was different every time that I've seen it. So I wonder when I watch it the fourth time, will Yoshi actually pop out? Anyways, guys, tell me what you think. Did that happen to you? Hopefully you guys are doing great. Thanks again for all the effort you put in the show, and we'll talk to you later.
So his question makes me wonder if there are multiple versions of the final scene, because I saw it on Wednesday night. I guess, before opening night or whatever. It came out on Wednesday. So I saw it the first night, and I saw the scene that he saw the third time that he described. The egg cracked, a piece of it fell off. It said Yoshi. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the actual Yoshi sound from the game. Then we saw it the second night, or 2 nights later with my son. We stayed all the way through with him and his friends and our family, and it did the same thing. Just real quick, did any of you guys experience that? Did you see a different scene or notice anything different?
I saw it on Thursday, and I had the same thing, the Yoshi, where he actually said Yoshi. So I didn't even know there was any other things. It was like, that was it.
For me, I saw it Wednesday as well, and I remember seeing the egg. I don't remember hearing Yoshi, but I was just excited, to see the ending, and was like, oh, there's an egg. Okay.
Maybe there are different ones.
And then when I saw it again on Saturday, I think it was, I want to say it was Saturday, but the second time I saw it, that's when I heard Yoshi after that one. So,
okay.
I don't know.
So I've seen it twice. I wasn't
paying attention the first time, so I don't know if maybe I just wasn't paying attention and
right.
hear Yoshi. And then the second time I saw it, I heard the Yoshi, but I didn't. It seemed the same to me.
Yeah. So I've seen it twice. Tim's seen it twice. Barry, have you gone back for? You've seen it once.
Just once.
So let's kind of dive in here with Mecca's question too. Did your opinion, or since you've seen it, has your opinion of it changed at all? Like, Barry, what do you think? You're a week out now. Have you changed your thoughts on the Mario movie?
I mean, I still love it, and I still think it's great. My only thing that changed was when I found out about the music, about the licensed music that's there is actually replacing music that was originally supposed to be in those scenes. And I'm like, oh, I would much rather have had the music that was supposed to be there instead of the licensed music. That was like the only thing. I was like, oh, man, I hope the Blu-ray has a version where you could watch it with that music restored.
Can I ask, did you see the actual video of the Kong cart scene with the actual music that was supposed to be used?
Yes, I saw it.
And it got taken down. Like Nintendo shut that down immediately.
I tweeted it out because I'm like, check this out. But it was taken
and that maybe it was your tweet I saw it on. I thought in that one, I think Take On Me was
taken down. No,
it may have been I thought that the Take On Me song, I thought that was fine, but I do like the other version better as well.
We were having
Tim, what about you?
We were having a little debate about that in Discord about some people were a little adverse to the pop music in there, rather than Mario music. And then I was fine with it. So I thought it was a nice mix of the two.
It's a bridge. It's a bridge between an audience who may not otherwise know much about Mario and those that are freaking out every time there's a musical score change and they go, oh, I know that song.
Right. Yep. So, but
I mean, here's the deal. I'm just glad that they didn't have the big typical dance off scene that every kids movie had for a while. It's like, hey, we beat the villain, now let's dance. And it there's a whole we're gonna have a wedding while we dance, or we're gonna go back home while we dance. Okay, I'm just glad they didn't do that.
Yeah. Well,
what about you, Tim? It's a week out now, how do you feel?
The same. I love the movie. I probably more so than I should, but I can't wait to watch it a bunch of times some more when we can watch it digitally.
Yeah. I don't know that I'll go back to the theater and see it.
Yeah.
I'm I don't know that I'll go back and see it again, but Like it's doing well enough on its own. It doesn't need my help to make
Right,
more
yeah.
money at this point.
I'll see it again if
You
a friend
know,
is like, "Hey, I haven't seen it yet." I'll go take that
Sure.
friend to go see it.
Sure.
But I'm not
but
gonna
I'm
go.
also not. I'm also not the type of person that's like that goes to the movie theater multiple times to see a movie.
Yeah.
Like I think I saw Force Awakens twice, and that was the first time I'd really done that. And then I saw Avengers Endgame twice, and then I've seen Mario twice.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have even seen Mario 2 times if it hadn't, like, if I hadn't known we were going to talk about it on the show
Right.
and last week, and like I needed like to do my homework, quote unquote.
Usually, if I'm going to see a movie multiple times in the theater, it's because of like the situation where it's like I wanted to go see it
Yeah.
right away. Nobody else was wanting to go see it like at midnight or something, you know, like a lot of the times when they used to have the midnight showing type of thing. Nobody else wants to see it then, but I'm so hyped for the movie. I got to go see it, and then I'll go see it again with everybody else. So
Yeah.
that's why I'll usually end up going to see it again. I've done that a few times, but yeah, I think not more than twice. I done more than that. Barry, do you often try to go see something more often?
I don't like to see things that I've already seen unless a good chunk of time has passed. Like if I'm watching TV, for example, like a show with my wife, and she falls asleep like for a commercial break, and I'm like, "What did you think of that segment?" And she said, "Oh, sorry, I fell asleep." So I have to rewind. I'll let her watch that segment, and I'll pull up my phone, and I won't pay attention, like, because I just seen it. I don't want to see it again.
Right.
So it's like I'll watch the Mario movie again. Like if the Blu-ray has a version with the music, properly, then I'll absolutely watch, especially those scenes because it's new to me. But otherwise, I'll wait a bit, and then I'll be like, I haven't seen it in a year or so. Like now, I've forgotten enough about it to be more fresh. That's what I like, because there's so many movies to watch, so many TV shows to watch, and then so many games to play that if I'm going to spend my time, I'd rather spend it doing something I haven't already done before.
Right. Yeah,
that's just
the other way too is just have it on in the background type of thing or whatever,
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
but I will definitely watch it multiple times too. Like I said, when it comes digital.
Oh, when it comes home, this is going to be like my Empire Strikes Back. It's going to be like a comfort movie.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it a bunch of times. Also, like you said, Barry, with if there's different versions or there's some commentary, or because that drives my wife crazy sometimes too. Is like I want to watch like the behind the scenes stuff. I want to see what's going on there. I'll watch a documentary about it. If I'm really into that movie, I want to know everything about it.
You know what I would love for there to be on this DVD release is an entire commentary where it's just Jack Black on commentary the entire time. Like,
I dig it.
That's what I have on my
Jack Black, Jack Black and Miyamoto on commentary.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's like there's a handful of movies that I have that are like what I would call like comfort movies. Like I put them on when in the background. Like it's like Mega Man 2 and Mario 3. Those are comfort games for me. Like if I'm, just need to chill out or veg out, for me, it's Empire Strikes Back, Karate Kid Part 1, and it's going to be Mario. So, like those are the games or those are the movies. Well, guys, we want to thank you for hanging out with us for episode 422 of Nintendo Dads, and Barry Carenza from Premium Edition. We are so thankful that every P word went through my mind, and then it just settled on the Premium Edition games. Barry Carenza, thanks for joining us again as a guest on the show.
Absolutely, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys.
Yeah. Tim?
And also I want to shout out to everybody who stopped by in our chat areas. So Jesse, of course, stopped by. He was hanging out there at the beginning. I don't know if he hung around the whole show, but he was in there. And then we got Mikey Dreamer, Mecha Dragon, of course, some person named Hawk 101082 or something. I don't know who that is. Nintendo Daddy. And then let's see, Nefrendo was in there. Miz, of course, usually stopping by there all the time. So thanks again, Miz.
The Miz?
The Miz.
The Miz was here?
Yes, the Miz was here. Just Being Bruce was here. MS Vibes. Just trying to shout out everybody who stopped by, and Andros, of course. We got to give him a shout out. So thank you all.
Do we though?
Zombie Kill, stopping by, and I think that's everybody. Gaming Dad. Oh, nice. Thanks for stopping by, Gaming Dad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love Gaming
Dad. That's
Dad.
another person we need to get back on the show, but I know he's a
That's
teacher,
right.
so
Yes.
it's harder for him to.
Let's do it. He needs to come back after Jesse gets back, so all three of us can talk about Buc-ee's again, because Gaming Dad loves the Buc-ee's. He knows he can't get out of there for less than $50 or $60 every time you stop.
Right.
But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us for episode 422. We want to say a huge thanks as we close out the show to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberger, RJ Kern, and Jacqueline Amira, as well as our other 90-plus patrons. Thank you for heading over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and joining up as part of the greatest community on the internet. Also, a special thank you to our 16 Twitch subscribers and over 1,400 Twitch followers. And we're getting close to 6,800 YouTube subscribers. If you haven't subscribed or followed us on Twitch or YouTube, head on over and do that right now. And we just want to say thank you to everybody that listens to the show, promotes it, has retweeted us, follows us on social media. Whatever you do, thank you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. You can head over to nintendodads.org to check out everything Nintendo Dads related, including Spotify podcast feeds for our other shows like Game Pass News, Dads After Dark, and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. You can check out our YouTube videos and tweets over there, as well as all of our other social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. Don't forget to stop by manscaped.com and get 20% off your Manscaped order by using the code NINDADS, NINDADS. It also gets you free shipping as well. And if you use that code NINDADS, NINDADS, at Konzuri.com, you get an extra 15% off some super sweet shoes. And right now that means that you get 45% off your order from these awesome height-boosting shoes. Go check them out at Konzuri. That's Konzuri, Konzuri.com. You can contact us in most places just by typing in Nintendo Dads, Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, or email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail like our good friend Christian at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And reminder, wherever you listen, download us from your on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please go leave us a 5-star written review because that helps push us up the charts, helps other people find the show. For me, for Barry, for Tim/Jesse, and the rest of the dads, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.